Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It is the 9th of November. It's 11/9/2019. And because of what I caught on video this morning, it really made me think I must know somebody that has actual DNA results or blood test or hair samples showing the barium, strontium, aluminum, etc. And it turns out the YouTuber that you guys, I'm all sure you know, he's a moderator usually, but he's taking tonight off. He has his test result from, I believe it's 2015, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've already looked at him. Mike's already shown him in a video before. The barium and strontium are off the chains. In a real world, you shouldn't have that in you whatsoever at all. There's no reason for you to have that in your system at all.
No.
You re-uploaded that video that I put up this morning. You and I, that's what we do. We are constantly outside pointing cameras at chemtrails and nobody's caring. No. But we still do it and we still do it. I'm 50 miles from my house, 50 miles away, and I see what looks like a circle in the sky that catches my eye. I start videotaping it with my cell phone. And about 10 miles more, I'm like, wait a minute. Is that a 666? Because now I can see three of them. I'm still 40 miles from my house, so I want to get home really quick. But I figured by the time I get home, certainly an hour is going to go by because it's 40 miles away. I live in the city. They won't be there. I get home. There's a perfect monster chemtrail straight in front of the sun from where the sun's coming from to where it's going. And then there's 8 perfectly concentric circles in front of the sky and nobody's looking. You couldn't miss it. It looked like a little kid was up there drawing. The only issue is, I just asked your opinion on it. These circles in the sky were all evenly spaced in the exact same size. I don't know if a pilot did that. I don't think a pilot could do that.
No.
What do you think?
I think AI's got this shit wired, is what I think.
Dude, that is crazy, and it makes perfect sense. Let me see if I can do a screen share of this real quick.
Yeah, it's pilots couldn't know when to flick a switch or whatever.
I mean, look at those. Look at how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 more on the other side of the sun, and they were laid out so that they were going to all pass directly in front of the sun. I've never seen them this flagrant. And just a little fun fact. This entire thing you're looking at is pointing directly at Harvard University. Like it's pointing, if you followed those lines, if you followed those circles, it ends up over Harvard. But I mean, dude, look at this. It's insane. I've never seen such a thing. And it didn't dawn on me till I watched it again that they were all evenly spaced and they were all the exact same size. That's not a pilot, in my opinion.
No,
man.
I don't believe so either. Yeah, I think AI is totally running this. It has to be,
and then this guy, you must remember that back in the day, a lot of big channels were putting out the military, the Navy, the Air Force, all branches of the military were outfitting aircraft carriers, Bradley fighting vehicles, tanks, etc. Everything that you need to go to war, they were outfitting them all with this adapter so that AI could control tanks, it could control everything. So airplanes, everyone, I mean, you must hear it all the time. What are those pilots thinking? I don't think I would imagine most of those planes that we're seeing way up there aren't any pilots. Why would they need pilots? They did 9/11 with drones. They can do it with anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And like the big Airbus 380s, the Air Frances and such, the big old bastards. A guy a long time ago sent me a link. They got flight simulators and everything for all them. I mean, so that, yeah, I don't think they all have pilots in them.
So check this out. We were talking about this before we went live. I put that video up this morning, and I came in, I grabbed the coffee, and I checked the comments real quick. Do you know what amazes me? And you've already experienced this, and I've already checked a bunch of emails. How many people are leaving comments like, "Oh, Richie, come on, dude. It's the middle of November. It's supposed to be cold. This is just normal. You guys are making nothing out of nothing and blah, blah, blah." Dude, it's the first week of November, and it's never, ever been freezing 2 days in a row. I'm not saying it's cold out. It's freezing. It's 32 and below, ice on the ground.
Yeah.
We've never had that. We've never had that. The plants out in front of the house, I guess it's similar to what you've got out west, is the middle of the leaves of the rhododendrons are green like they were, and the outsides are all black like they just died suddenly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Are you having that same thing out there?
Same thing, or they're folded like in a taco shape.
That's crazy.
And not dropping.
I just got an email from Australia. I got an email from Russia, and I got one from England. The guy from England, Daniel. I just read that. That was a novel, dude. I get it. But it's when I open an email and it's that long, it bums me out. It really does. But whatever. They were all telling me that the weather was incredibly erratic, and I'm telling. And I mean, you know this too. With weather control, they're not going to freeze the entire country. They're going to take whatever weather you normally get and make it that much worse. If it can get cold in the Middle East, in the Northeast, they're going to make it colder. If you get nor'easters, dude, we had nor'easter. We had one on a Monday. We had one on a Wednesday. We had one on a Friday. In a real world, if those storms were that close together, they would have turned into a hurricane. They don't wait in line, one and then a day off, another one day. That's them.
Oh, it's magical.
It's magical. But it amazes me how many people apologize for this whole system. We're not just freaking out. Dude, I'm 52. I've been around a half a century. This ain't normal.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, sometimes if it was late in the year, we may get snow. I think I remember 3 of them.
Yeah.
But it ain't like this, man. It is not like this whatsoever at all. So,
yeah, Thanksgiving was usually our normal time we would get back when it wasn't so controlled. Yeah. But,
right.
But minus 15 last week? No. And I don't know if you've noticed, have you noticed that when they cool it down real quick like that, it's not the same cold as the old school winter cold or anything. It's just this weird, I don't know how to explain it, but I call it chem cool, but it's not a normal cold.
Chem cool. That's a good call, man. That's a good call because I refuse to call it. I'm not going to say any names, but a certain person popped up out of nowhere and tried to take over the chemtrail community, and he wanted to change everything. He wanted to call it all their names. He wanted to use all David Keith's terminology. Well, that just turns everything into a debate. I want to keep calling it what it is. Chemtrails are poison. Nobody should have barium, strontium, and aluminum in their bloodstreams whatsoever at all unless they work at a foundry or they're exposed to this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, Dane Wigington, how many years ago was it that he got the water sample from Mount Shasta, which should have been primo water, and it was loaded. After that, it was almost impossible for anyone to get a legitimate water test done. You know what I mean? Which is why I have you on. I have you on because I was supposed to be at your house like 3 times so far, but I always
make one of these days.
Right there.
Shit always happens that way.
I know it does. It does. At least I record it, so.
You always know you got a base camp in Wyoming, though. So, no worries.
Wyoming, man. All right. Let's pull this up. You can explain this, or just go over it. I'm going to pull up these test results that you have. You sent these to me a while ago, but I think it applies because I was just talking about it yesterday. I mean, these numbers are off the chains.
Yeah.
Right down here shows calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, copper, zinc, phosphorus, iron, blah, 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 blah. Calcium and magnesium are way, way high.
And from what I hear, they use a lot of that in the spray too. And
well, that's what they claim it is. It's calcium, it's good for you. It's vitamins, man. It's Donald Trump's vitamins. They're spraying calcium on you for your bones and teeth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but down here is that where we start getting into the good stuff. I'm not saying that properly, but if you notice these 2 lines that go straight up, both of those, this one is barium and it's way up there.
Yeah, it's actually
it's strontium. Go ahead.
Those 2 are actually the barium strontium. I tried finding the rest of my sheet where they did a breakdown of it all, but those levels are actually clear off the chart. So they're actually higher than it's showing.
Well, I figured they probably didn't have too many charts that were like multiple pages long, because why would you need them? Somebody with that much in there is obviously going to die anyways. You know what I mean? So what's the difference? Not saying in a bad way, but it's absolutely unbelievable. And you're right, because Keith always talks about, we could use coal ash, or he always says they could use some benign stuff. And I think I've been seeing them spraying coal ash in the sky. Do you know the black stuff?
Yeah, from what I gather, it can be either the carbon black. I think it just depends on if they're brewing up a storm or whatever, and then coal fly. And I don't know, have you ever heard of J. Marvin Herndon?
Yes. Yep.
He does a lot of the studies on, and I'm not much when it comes. I've tried reading the paper several times, but from what I gather, what he's saying, even if it's not black, the coal fly ash and their final product coming out of the power plants, whatever, has all that aluminum, barium, strontium in it. So I believe that's what he's saying. Not only could it be black, but it could be regular. You know what I'm saying? I
do. Because after they sprayed the concentric circles in the sky, a plane flew through, and you could see whenever they spray the black heavy stuff, it always casts a shadow in front of the plane, because people are like, look at that, they're shooting lasers and the plane's falling. It's like, actually, look at the location of the sun. It's casting a shadow.
Yeah. I mean, some of them do look pretty trippy, but it's.
Oh, no doubt. Like this ring right here is lighting up with, rainbows. Pour a little motor oil on the ground in a puddle and watch. It looks beautiful, but it's bad. It's the metals in the oil reflecting rainbow colors. The same thing we're seeing in the skies. And the other thing that I just told you I was going to stay away from, if you watch this guy right here that's flying straight in front of him, he cast a crazy shadow all the way to the horizon. But this is insane. I mean, what is this guy flying thinking? Like, somebody just did 9 loop-de-loops in front of the sun. That's normal, because planes always fly in the point of an airplane is point A, point B. They have a flight log, and look at this. It looks like somebody was up there sewing, and they're all the exact same size.
Oh yeah. And I used to be a frequent flyer, and I always got me a seat, a little bit back from the wings there. Always had window seat from like the 80s till 99. And I do not ever remember any, and I'd see planes all the time, I was always observant, and there was never nothing coming out. And then I didn't fly again till 2010 after that. And that's the one time I went to Maui, and I didn't get a window seat. So otherwise, I probably would have noticed in 2010 instead of 2014.
Dude, I've never been to Hawaii. My grandfather's, my great uncle had a mafia style hotel down there and our last name. It was the name of it was our last name. And it was I have a couple of cappuccino cups still left over. He's dead, but my grandfather was a cop. His brother was whatever. At any rate, I forget what I was talking about. What you just said is when you said you never saw anything coming out of planes. I'm sure anybody that's actually truly researched airplanes and chemtrailing, etc., has come up with Rolls-Royce, Pratt & Whitney, General Electric, all of their patents. The way it is a jet engine is it releases its exhaust and uses it again to make the jet propulsion. Therefore, it leaves nothing coming out of the back.
Yep.
When they kick on the afterburners or when they really punch it, it might leave a little bit right behind it, but it's like the length of the plane. That's totally normal.
Yeah.
The shit that we're seeing now, I don't even know why we have to still try to convince people or anything. They've come out and said it.
Yeah.
I showed it last night. They're like, we got to figure out the right balance of geoengineering for America's health and to kill our grandchildren. Like, see the black right there.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that went all the way to the end of the Atlantic Ocean. It's because that's pointing right out to sea. And this stuff just stayed up here I saw this originally 50 miles earlier. When I got home, it was still there. And that's the Sony camcorder. That's what the sun looks like through a 4K camera, which I videotaped a bunch of times. So I don't know why it's doing that, but
is that a handy cam, one of them little Sony handy cam 4K?
It's a good 4K camera. Usually I can zoom right in on the sun and it doesn't bother it at all. This and my cell phone made the sun look like a rectangle, which is not normal. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
They had her filled up with some, jeez.
No doubt. And like I said, that whole line of circles, all of them moved in front of the sun. So it was laid out perfectly. It was all hinging. There was already, I didn't see him put it down, but just like he's spraying, somebody sprayed, and then the loop-de-loop guy went right off of that chemtrail. That's insane. And nobody was looking up, dude. Nobody.
Crazy. Like the other day when it was minus 15 and just this low chem mess, you know, couldn't see the sky. We was out walking and I heard probably a Globemaster, U.S. Air Force, whatever, and it kept doing. And I'm almost wondering if that ain't what they were doing too above us. Just couldn't see it because he stayed here in this basin. We live in a pretty big basin here. I don't know, probably almost an hour. You could hear him, and I almost wonder if that ain't what they were doing.
I wish I had caught him because I would have got the Nikon right on him because that thing zooms in nice. This is a Canon camera right here that you're seeing. That's the sun through a Canon EOS R. And that doesn't zoom in really far. So that's what it looked like. But the other one, this is like 3 different clips put together. I was freaking out.
I would have been too.
And I'm like, by the time I get home, I'm not going to be able to videotape it. By the time I get home, there's 8 of them directly over my house. I couldn't believe it, but then I could. So that's insanity. If that doesn't make people, and that could just be what it is. If this doesn't get people, if this doesn't end up in the newspaper or people don't start freaking out, we can do whatever we want. And I think that's what they're looking for.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, I've never seen such insanity, but at any rate, let me,
yeah, that's crazy.
Let me pop this up one more time again so people can see this. Mike got this done in, I'm going to guess 2015 because it says 2015 on it.
Yeah. I got that done just so I could shove it up state officials and law enforcement, you know, up there in their faces because, you know, I'm crazy and whatever. But once I got that, I knew that, and you know, been in construction all my life where I know what a material safety data sheet is. And I know there was never barium and strontium and all that stuff in any construction products that I'm aware of. You know, it's sad. It's sad.
It's crazy too, because if you look at everything on the chart, everything is pretty much what you would expect in a normal American male. We're both middle-aged, so middle-aged American male, you'd expect seeing stuff like this. But the funny thing is that every single thing that goes completely off the chart, as you can see, this is from Trace Elements. This isn't from, you know, we didn't print this up. This is from Trace Elements in Addison, Texas. This is Mike Decker, blah, 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 everything here. Every single thing that is off the chart is exactly what we've been telling you for a decade that they're spraying in the sky. Calcium, magnesium, barium, and strontium. I'm not seeing aluminum. Yes, I am. Right over
aluminum
here.
Is over in the pink. And you know, I didn't think that was high, but
because it doesn't look high.
No. And from what I hear, that is technically is high.
Well, because you're not supposed, aluminum isn't a naturally occurring element.
And like was it uranium or whatever? I got all sorts of, it makes you wonder. But I guess
you got a uranium and arsenic in your blood.
And arsenic, you know, and uranium. It's
wow, I didn't see that, brother.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is what they think right here. These are toxic ratios, additional ratios. I don't know any of this stuff.
Yeah.
If you're interested in this, go to Mike's channel, hit him up, and I guess he could send it if you wanted to. I can't give you Pete's asking for a link. I can't give you a link to this because it's a downloaded file, so it's not a linkable thing.
I'll post something and put a link.
There you go. There you go.
Share.
All right. And if you already didn't know, this is Mike Decker's YouTube channel. He's one of the moderators, and he's been doing this for a long time. And it's not a glamorous job talking about chemtrails because just nobody cares. And the problem is it's the biggest thing in the world. It's amazing to me that they're literally sprinkling poison on everybody every single solitary day, supplementing the poison that you're drinking, supplementing the genetically modified food that you're eating, whatever else, blah, blah, blah. And it just astounds me that people don't see it. How do you not notice this? It's amazing to me, man. It's totally amazing. And yet, when they come out with chemtrails and cell phones, we've got to figure out a way to keep people looking, and it works. And then they just every single solitary movie. You're making the television show Breaking Bad. You're a cinematographer, but every time you're in the desert, every single shot shows 3 planes spraying the sky. A real cinematographer would be like, yeah, we want a nice blue sky. No,
exactly.
It's predictive programming. And what's the other word? I can't think of. They're mind fucking you. That's the only word I can think of. They put it in everything so that you think it's normal. And that's just what they've been doing. It's amazing. It's amazing. Meredith Wilson, I think you're right. Is that really you, Meredith? Because that's a crazy picture, dude. Oh my. At any rate, let's get rid of her. Bug spray dope is no joke. Indeed. It's amazing. So check this out. We were talking about this before we went live, and Mike's pretty much on the same page. Every single science magazine that you go to, any place that you go to, every one of them has a story about 11,000 scientists say that people need to go right away to save the earth. Isn't that kind of strange that we have to save the earth and kill everybody else? Science came up with. Well, that should tell you what their agenda is right there. And this giant mural you're seeing on the side of a building, this is in San Francisco, where they're painting that wacky crisis actor, mental patient Greta, what's her name? What's her last name?
Is it Greta Thunberg?
Greta Thunberg. Well, now look at that beautiful. She looks like a psychopath, dude.
Oh no,
and they're painting her on the side of a building in the United States. So
yeah.
Here we go, baby. Here we go.
Creepy.
Unbelievable. But it's not going to end. It doesn't end. And there's a reason for it. And this right here would be it. Mike, did you think it was going to speed up and become this flagrant on all fronts at all times? I mean, this is sick, dude.
No,
I don't even care anymore.
I didn't. I mean, no, I didn't. This year's been pretty crazy. It's been pretty crazy actually since 16, 17?
I think right around the time when they started talking about when they dropped the story about Pizzagate and tried to hook everybody, and man, did they hook a lot of people. I kept telling people exactly the opposite. You're not going to like this, but this is a psyop. They're giving, everybody's always the Illuminati, the elites, Agenda 21, the military industrial, but there's no face. They finally presented us with this dude at his pizza shop. This is what he looks like. This is his Twitter account. Go there. Go. That's exactly what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
I told everybody back on, I think it was 2016 or 2017, that all of this information is accurate, but none of this is going to work. It's a trick. No one's ever going to get arrested. No one's ever going to go to jail. The only thing that's going to happen is we're going to get screwed. Guess what happened? Fake news popped up. Boom. Everything's fake news now. You know what I mean?
Fake news and 11-year-olds can go topless now.
It's Dude, did you see the live stream I did the other night? It was an hour and a half. All I was talking about was Satan, sex, and little kids, and all of them had something to do with it. How come everybody's not out in the streets with pitchforks and torches, man?
It's like I watch the parents.
People like me and you, we're no good. We are no good. People they can't have them. They can't have them.
No.
Look at those looking at the sky. You're crazy. How's that? Those aren't good. That's all.
Yep, we are crazy.
So it's just speeding up exponentially. Check this story out, right? Because did you see the video I put up the other day with David Keith from I think it was 2016?
Yeah, I love that.
Come on. No, that's like people talking about, I don't know, vaccines. Not like he put it all in one big pile. Well, check this out. 10 people in Oklahoma took the flu shot, and all of them were completely immobilized. None of them could respond, move, talk, anything. They were like, "Oh, that was our mistake, man. It was just what was it? It was insulin. Our bad, no big deal."
Oops.
Well, I have a friend that works at a huge hospital in Boston, and I'll tell you what, there's no way that they accidentally gave him the shot wrong 10 times to 10 different people.
No.
That's just complete and total bullshit. But I love watching David Keith talking about chemtrails. We would never spray this. Come on, people would know. People would find out about it. You know, people would talk. Well, I'll tell you what. A lot of things have happened on this particular earth that we find ourselves on over the last 50 years that still haven't come out. We all know what happened, but it's never come out. You know what I mean?
Yep, exactly. No, David Keith, he's an evil son of a bitch. That's a
Bill Gates. It's unbelievable. Well, think about it. How do you become the richest guy on the earth? You didn't really improve lives. The stories about them going to other countries and the village people. That reminds me of Obama. YMCA.
That you can get that stuck in my head.
Imagine that, dude. We had a president, and they put it on the cover of Newsweek, America's first gay president. That was your disclosure. That's all you get. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. He was married to a dude. There's zero pictures of Michael Obama's children being born, children being children. There's no pictures, but there's plenty of pictures of Michael and his dick. Unbelievable. After that, they were like, these people are stupid. They believe 9/11. They believe 2 buildings came down. 110. Like, we're covering all the bases tonight, huh?
You know, everybody around here, besides a couple, of my wake friends, whatever, nobody even knows about Building 7. Everybody I've ever brought it up to, what are you talking about?
Because they just denied it. Donald Rumsfeld. What do you mean? What World Trade Center 7? What does that mean? Dude, come on. The Central Intelligence Agency, all the paperwork to put Enron away, Operation El Dorado or whatever it was called, the task force, the El Dorado task force that was in there, that building was the second most important building besides the Pentagon. And it came down like that. Come on, man. Yeah. Come on. Oh, it was on fire. I looked up the structural. I mean, I've built buildings. I've worked in Boston. You don't build an office building that's full of stuff that burns. It doesn't work. And it certainly isn't going to happen in New York City. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You got all your firewalls. You got your fire. No, yeah. And that's the thing that's kind of crazy. You'd think all these people, been in construction all their life would at least, it would maybe make them think, now, how did that happen? Because that's the first thing I remember, because I remember when that happened, I was welding the handrails at a little maximum federal county jail. And I remember when that happened. That's the first time I'd even seen a computer screen, watching them come down. I was like, how's a steel building come down? But then I went back to the mountain and didn't think about it again, for many years, whatever.
I watched it live. I just dropped my ex-wife my wife at the time off at work, and Howard Stern was talking about it. First, it was a joke. An airplane hit the building. By the time I got home, I'm still listening to Stern, and I'm watching it on CNN. And right there and then, I tried to re-enlist in the military because I'm like, we're going to war. There's we're going to war. And it didn't even dawn on me, man. It didn't dawn on me whatsoever at all till about 10 years ago when I saw the TR-3B on the History Channel. And when I started researching that, it was on. It was on.
Haven't been the same since, huh?
Haven't been the same since at all. I was working for Vince Wilfork of the New England Patriots. I was doing a bathroom over for him. And if Vince didn't call me to ask me to do the job for him, I don't think I would have left the house, because once I sat down and started looking, I found the word Illuminati, which I didn't even know existed. And then I found alien scientist. I found 9/11, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And then the depression comes over you, like, everything's a lie. This is all, well, that was just scratching the surface back then. But it isn't possible for 2 buildings to come down. The buildings came down faster than as if there were no buildings there at all. And people don't seem to understand that. Somehow, according to the official story, Osama bin Laden not only had the best cell phone service ever,
Of course, best tech
from
ever.
a cave to boot, from a cave in the Middle East to organize all this. But he also suspended physics for the entire day, not just the morning, also till 5 o'clock when World Trade Center 7 came down. So it's amazing, absolutely, totally, completely amazing.
That damn passport, it made it, didn't it? Them passports.
Yeah, how many people did tests about, trying to see if a cell phone would even work in an airplane? All of that was just like all the real evidence was just discounted. Nope, that's not accurate. That's not true. These people were cruising at 30,000, going 600 miles an hour, talking to their loved ones in really strange ways,
Yeah.
So, yeah, they can keep things quiet. It does happen. It's not a big deal. Thank you, Armored Up. Richie Pipes. I don't know what that means. At any rate. So we've got Greta, that crazy broad kid or whatever she is. She's probably a dude. I don't even know. We're painting her on the side of a building in San Francisco. Flu shots are knocking people out in Oklahoma and nobody cares. Agenda 21 is rolling way ahead of schedule. We did find somebody other than Dane Wigington with a more recent toxology. Is that what it's called?
I'm not sure if that's what it's. Is it?
I call it a DNA test because that's what it is, isn't it? Like
hair analysis, heavy metal.
Off the hook. Every single thing that you see up there is every single thing we've ever said was in chemtrails, and then there they are, right there on the screen from Trace Elements in Texas. Sorry if you get a bunch of calls from a bunch of crazy people. Hey guys, don't call them and be crazy. You know what I mean? Toxicology. Thank you, Rebecca.
That sounds right.
Valerie. Yeah, but just remember, I'm dumb. So
yeah, we're all
Soylent Green. Mike, what else? What's on your mind, man? I got you here. I've never done a live stream with you.
Whatever you want to talk about, man. I'm up for anything.
You know what? It's your call. I've been yammering for days, dude. What bothers you? What bothers you more from what you're seeing, especially from where you're at? Where you're at, you guys can strap on a rifle, walk down the road with your dogs. No big deal. If I do that, helicopters, black vans, everybody shelter in place. It just ain't happening. What's pissing you off more than anything other than the chemtrailing, I guess?
Everything. Just everything.
You got to be specific. You got to at least give me time to use my nasal spray. Can you believe how much, like 10-year-olds are now? I mean, it's 6 states. 6 states.
Oh.
You know what I mean? You can't do anything unless you pay the state that you live in or the federal government. You're not allowed to do anything. Being homeless is now considered a misdemeanor. But the state of Colorado just didn't want to fight. They didn't want to fight against that topless 10-year-old thing, so they just let it slide. No biggie. You know how much damage that's going to do, man?
Oh, it's horrible. It's very sad. And the people down there people don't even care. Like, no big deal.
I haven't even heard. I was talking to a couple of family members the other day, and they were talking about something, and I mentioned Drag Queen Story Hour. I'm like, can you believe that dude thing didn't get arrested? Because I find it really strange that the photographer caught this shim's no underwear on. He was right behind a little girl's head. Like, it looked like they wanted, that was like it's like, I think they're just testing to see how far they can push before anyone pushes back. Drag queen flashing a bunch of little kids, no charges, no big deal. And it doesn't even cancel the program. Chemtrail's doing loop-de-loops in this guy. Dude, I've never seen that ever. I've seen circles here and there, but this was one after another, and they stayed there for hours. The fake news on ABC News telling everybody that Turkey, dude, ABC News told the world that Turkey's attacking another country in the Middle East right now. We need to go to war. Oh, actually, that was just the finale of the gun show. That's a crime, man. You know what I mean? Like that. Nobody's doing anything. Nobody's saying anything. It's all just whatever. Wow. Christmas is coming. Turkey.
And that's what I was thinking about. If they wanted to bring hell here for a bit, like say crash it, take everything down the winter. But I figure if they do it, wouldn't they suck everybody, make sure that everybody goes out and spends all the money they don't have for the holidays, and then go and pull it out from underneath them?
It's funny because looking at the comment section earlier, the amount of people apologizing for what I'm trying to point out. I've made a lot of crazy videos over the years, but the weird thing is over the years, those crazy videos ended up being in Live Science, physics.org, on the news. It's like, I told you, I don't mind. I'm not one of those channels that got, to be fairly big, that are afraid to mention what the real issue is. I don't care if people think I'm crazy, because people think I'm crazy anyways. Exactly. It's a crazy world. This is crazy. You know what I mean? There's a pilot flying over my house in a giant airplane doing loop-de-loop-de-loop. That ain't safe, man. That's not good.
Yeah.
Helicopters flying directly over the Apache helicopters. Those aren't troop transports, right over the tops of buildings in Boston. In a real world, they'd simply move half a mile to the east and they're over the ocean. Something goes wrong with one of the choppers, nobody gets hurt, because that's what insurance, liability, that's what posse comitatus. That's not what the case is anymore. And nobody cares, man.
We've had quite a few. They come in usually sets of 4 or 6. They'll come over town and head out the airport. They used to, like say they would avoid right over town, whatever. But now they'll just come right over town and go fuel up out here. You get emotional when you go video.
It's crazy, man.
But I've noticed a lot of them lately. And they're always coming out of the north. So I don't know if they're coming out of Montana and heading south or whatever. And then was it the B-2 bombers? That the big bombers? B-2s?
Yeah, Stratofortresses.
Since August, a lot of them been flying, which usually means we're getting ready to go hammer somebody,
Right. And the number one American answer is, dude, they're practicing because of terror. And it's like, yeah, that's a fun thing to say, but check this out. Militaries practicing are usually militaries that haven't been at war since 2011. Our troops have practice. We've got plenty of practice.
Yeah.
Hey, my 4 years is over. Yeah. Funny thing about that is we've extended your contract. You're in the military for another 2 years. And you wonder why 22 veterans a day are killing themselves.
Isn't that sad, man?
It's
and it's because they
woke up.
Yeah, it breaks my heart. There's been a lot of that around here too. It's like,
there was a show that I found accidentally on Netflix called Generation Kill, and I saw the name of it. I'm like, this is I would never watch this. It was the story by a Rolling Stone reporter that rolled with the recon Marines into Baghdad. The military gave the dude. It's a phenomenal, because they're saying the same shit. Like, hey, they want us to go attack Baghdad, but we're in Hummers with no armor. We don't have enough supplies. We don't have anything. And then they get there and they're like, hey, this is completely wrong. Like, this is bullshit. They figured it out. Well, think about that. You carry that weight your entire life. Someone's going to shoot Mike Decker and I'm right next to him. I don't care if it's a little kid. If he's pointing a gun and he's firing, I'm going to kill him. But later on, it's going to bother me. That's what happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they give money to absolutely everybody. They flood the borders, and now suddenly we got to build a wall. That wall ain't to keep nobody out, homie. That wall to keep everybody in. You think there's a reason that next year everyone has to have a passport? In the United States, you have to have a passport to fly from here to Montana.
I guess I won't be flying no more.
Me neither, because there's no way that we're not listed. There's no way. I don't even want to know.
Yeah, I'm sure I was on the list. Like that time I said 2010 when I went to Hawaii. I flew out of Billings, Montana. And I was pretty outspoken then. I was half awake, we'll call it, or whatever. But I was pretty outspoken on all my social media and all that. But they destroyed my one big backpack, just plumb full of shit, because I didn't know if I was going there for 2 weeks or 2 months, or whatever. I couldn't decide. And they tore that thing apart. And as we're boarding on the plane, everybody, they said, you hold there. and everybody I'm watching, they had a green and a red light where they let you in. And every time I would get up there, it would turn red. And she's like, "You gonna have to wait here for a second and let some more people." I was like, "What?" And they finally let me on, but I know they were watching me, so I don't think I can fly anymore. Plus, they know I'd be filming.
Exactly. They don't like that. Do you? I don't. What's his name? He's the British guy from Dave Eaton. I can't think of his name. He's got a Dave there. Well, say it again.
David Yates.
David Yates. My bad, David. I have a terrible memory because much like Mike, I would suspect that my entire bloodstream is filled with barium, strontium, and aluminum and whatever else. Like I was just literally right before we finished this. I haven't even showered yet. I was grinding a aluminum transfer case housing without a mask, and I went in the bathroom where I blew up my nose.
Well.
Yeah.
You
What?
know,
They're already spraying. I might as well do it. You know, like I go out on my own terms.
I'm the same way. Yeah. No, I can remember, like, went down and worked at the Boca Chica Naval Air Station in Key West for like 6 months, and we were redoing all their roofs, and I was cutting the roofs, and it was all full of asbestos. I didn't need no mask, but I went and got my lungs x-rayed a few years later. And I had a few spots on it. The doctor's like, "Oh, that'll just grow over. It's not going to hurt you." So, a lot of times I think they used to just, the fear thing, or whatever.
Yeah. Someone just said David Yates is Scottish. Dude, we're American. Everybody's from Ireland. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
He's from
If
Manchester.
it's not Scottish, it's crap.
That's why I love watching him when he twists. There's nothing better than with a British or an Australian twisting.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Oh man, David Icke is a shill. Yes, he's a professional shill. There's lots of them. Anybody with a big shiny forehead that's always talking, they don't come down to the Earth is flat and God's real. They're lying to you. And a lot of big channels won't go anywhere near it. Well, then you're not a truth channel. You're half truthing, and you're trying to skate around YouTube's rules. YouTube does not want you talking shit about 9/11,
No.
Sandy Hook, Israel. Oh, I'm just killing myself right now, aren't I? What an idiot. At any rate, Israel, what else? Flat Earth, NASA, Israel, 9/11, Sandy Hook, and
Did you say Israel or?
I think I said Israel, Mossad, the Talmud, Mossad doing 9/11, the kids from Sandy Hook showing up at the Super Bowl, dancing and singing in front of. I mean, that was just that. These guys are sitting back going, "We did such a great job. Like these people are idiots. This is amazing. Why in the world would you even have a memorial where 12 children got killed? So in memorial of that, we're gonna have 12 children. So that's creepy as shit. But it was even worse than that.
Everybody's face. Look what we did.
And then the kid dies. One of the kids dies again. He was just being, he was one of those kids. He just wouldn't die.
Hardcore.
They presented it to us. Clara Zajac. Clara's got a lot of ink. Claire. She's like, "My name's Claire, you stupid jerk." Sorry, Claire.
Yeah, I'm bad. I'm always mispronouncing names and stuff.
Yeah, me too. Seeing Believing is talking about corned beef. I don't know what that means. The earth is completely flat. Yeah, I figured that out when I went out west. I went to 14,000 feet and I launched a drone and it went up as high as it would allow itself because the FAA shuts it off automatically. And I'm looking at the footage and I'm like, even at 3 miles up, the horizon meets the camera perfectly. And then I thought to myself, hey, idiot, you live on the Atlantic Ocean. Why don't you go videotape a few ships? And it's like, wow, they're not going anywhere. They just can't see them anymore. You get a zoom lens on it. It's like, oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I was so, I think 2015 is when I woke up.
I didn't want to come out with that, dude. I got so much. I lost half my subscribers.
And that was it. They were actually the ones that said, "Yeah, check out Flat Earth." And I kind of blew it off with her, but they came up back when they used to recommend decent videos on here, and there was like a 20-something things about the Flat Earth or whatever. And I watched that there. I was like, "Holy shit!" And I've seen all that with my own eyes. So, yeah.
I watched Mark Sargent, and it's amazing how you can fool people with a very well-spoken video. But then when you watch this guy, it's like, this guy's a complete asshole, shill, agent. it's just more of the same, more of the same. And then the other kid, the kid with the 200 and something 20, look at his family tree. It's all Central Intelligence, blah, blah, blah. So that kind of sucks too. It is what it is. What are you going to do?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Robert Ayers said Virginia just voted a convicted pedo, and he's not a pedo. He's just attracted to children. It's a disease. It's a disease. That's the news story. Listen, I've done so much unbelievably heinous shit in this life that it's unbelievable. I mean, I already know that when whatever happens, and people think they're magically floating away in this rapture or whatever.
Yeah.
Me and Mike will be down here going, what happened? Where'd everybody go? You know what I mean?
Yep.
How come everything's on fire? Who's that dude with the horns, man? What a dick.
Yeah, I had some pretty dark years myself.
But I've never once thought, wow, little kids, man.
No.
You don't mess with kids, man. You do not mess with children whatsoever at all. Never had that in me. And now they're trying to make it into a disorder, which made me believe after they took out the cartels and took over the cartels and flooded the country even worse with drugs. I noticed that they were like, everybody's going celebrity rehab. It's a disease. It's a disease. That was their starting stone. And now everything's going to be a disease. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. You know, a few years ago, we were doing some work here at the school, at the middle school. That's 6th through 8th grade here. I was walking down them halls, and everywhere on them walls was, I don't want to say nothing that'll get anybody in trouble. How do I say it?
Say it, brother. Just say it.
Everything was about gender and gay and just these crazy they'd have a quote from a Freemason over here and then gay this. And I walk into this one room, and it's got actual this shrine thing. And it actually was called the Wall of Gayness or something titled like that. And these children, I'm like, this is small town Wyoming. You know, there used to be these guys called good old boys and girls that would not allow that bullshit.
Right.
But they bow down to the state and the feds, here. And it's like, people, pull your kids out of these schools.
No, the funny thing is I was going to talk about this yesterday and I forgot about it. Was they're pushing to keep kids in the school till 6 p.m. So you don't even have your kids anymore. The school has them. And the indoctrination, if back in the 90s, everything didn't start out with Seinfeld. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Every single solitary thing is gay, 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 gay. Everything. It's a mental disorder. You know who said that? John Hopkins, not me. The American College of Pediatricians said it's a mental disorder. You can't change somebody from an X to a Y chromosome and think everything's going to be fine. You just made someone that's going to be in a mental health facility or a psychiatrist the entire rest of their life. It is not normal. You wouldn't need laws if it was a natural progression. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And that's exactly what they're doing. And the political correct is what got rid of all the good old boys. Everybody was afraid. I'm afraid to be a white American. I mean, dude, that's a real thing. It's a real thing. If you walk into a room and say, man, I'm proud to be a white American.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You should have seen. Sorry, brother.
It's all good. It's all good, man.
Well, you remember when I went out to call the old police out on all this stuff? People that, used to be my friends, these Fox News, gun-loving, good old boys and girls, well, they, think they are, whatever, freaked out when I did that. I mean, they won't even carry their weapons. They call me crazy. They think that it's stupid that I carry my AR in my vehicle with me. I mean, and these were people that I thought were good old boys and girls. So men are not men anymore. There's very little left.
Not at all. That's what the whole political correct movement was.
And I think a lot of prescription meds and
no doubt. But political correctness was basically following the 10 communist planks to take down America.
Yeah.
Make them afraid to be Americans. Well, that worked like a charm.
Oh,
they worked like a charm, man.
They get A+ for that.
Indeed. And when that started to wear off, That's right when technology took off. And I mean, how many videos did I put up saying, hey, just FYI, scientists are studying how to make light flashing and frequencies hypnotize and actually hook you like heroin for real.
Yeah.
And it worked because people are hooked on technology, man.
Oh man, I got me one of them EMF 390s, little what do you call it? I think, is it a frequency? One of these things? Can you see that?
Yeah.
I got this about a month ago. I've been playing with it. I'm going to do a video sometime when I get everything. But
what is her name? The girl I did a live stream with in LA. Do you remember? Dana Ashley. Yeah. Dana Ashley showed me how to use one of those things. It was a trip. When my phone was on, that thing was freaking out, dude.
Oh, it's crazy, and it depends on what app and like YouTube or whatever. All put out different special frequencies.
No doubt, for different reasons. It's amazing.
It's not only the bottom, but they make sure where you got that one side thumb button thing. It's all. If you're holding on that phone, you are getting fried. It's like, yeah. I turn mine off at night. I got my house pretty clear. I direct lighted after I watched actually that video when you were visiting her. I got me a direct light and got rid of my Wi-Fi.
Erin just said, put it near your microwave. I don't own a microwave for any reason. I heat my water up in a pan, man. It's all. I don't use a microwave. None of that. No television, no microwave. I really live it for real.
I keep mine unplugged. It's very rare for me to use one because I used to be anti-microwave or everything, but somebody gave me one, so I just had it around for whatever. But I did check my microwave. I'll do a video on it. Even unplugged. I don't know if it's coming off the smart meter or what. That thing's still putting out unplugged.
Indeed.
I'll do a video though. It's crazy.
Dana Ashley did not mess around, man. She lived in an A-frame and she literally had wire mesh on the outside of her house to protect it. Someone just said Dana is awesome. She is awesome, and her daughter's even more awesome if she happens to be listening. She owes me $20 worth of black slime. Black slime for $20, please. So yeah, they were awesome, and she's a really good cook. I'm in her driveway changing my oil, working on my truck. She's like, "Do you ever stop working on that truck?" And it's like, "Not really. Not really. It's old. It's old, and so am I." So
there's nothing wrong with old vehicles.
No, not at all. It works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it amazes me. Brandon Sibley was talking about this. The Big Sib was talking about this a couple of months ago, and it just didn't dawn on me, man, how the war on drugs was simply taking over the cartels. Like these dudes are the 7th richest person in the world. We need to get the military over there right away. And they simply took it over. George Herbert Walker Poppy Bush. The dude's been behind every single solitary massive conspiracy since the day I was born, man. Where were you when JFK got shot? Dude, I remember exactly where I was when I heard that Kurt Cobain got found dead, because that's how life works. You remember these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I shook that evil son of a bitch's hand.
What?
Yeah.
Recently?
That was.
I know he's dead.
1980. It had to be 88 or 89. It was when he was running for president.
Really?
Yeah. And the funny thing is, okay, 4 of us skipped school and went out to the airport. He was stopping here. Then they were going to drive up to Cody or whatever. I don't know. But there's quite a few, at least 50 people out there, and me and my 3 other buddies. Yeah. We were standing up and over the fence at the airport, and he walked up, and you want to talk about black eyes? Just dilated, and his wife. And I remember it just really stuck out at me. I was like, but I shook that piece of shit's hand. But
when we're successful,
what's that?
When we're successful, and we will be.
Yeah.
You can see it in his face. I mean,
no,
the guy was demonic as.
Oh yeah, big time, and I can still feel his creepy. Yeah, no, and of course, back then I was just a young, dumb little whatever.
You were a person, you know what I mean? Growing up, what happens, man.
There were newspaper articles and everything on it, and people taking pictures out there. I cannot find nothing on that. I don't know if that's a Mandela thing or what, but I always think of that as my little Mandela moment.
That was a trip. Because that's another thing I had to eat crow on when I was like, oh my God, you people, this thing is a psyop. And it turns out that I'm talking about CERN all the time, and CERN is probably the ones behind it, or they at least want you to think that, because that whole Mandela video where they're holding up Mandela, the disarray, and that's CERN.
Oh no, yeah. I'm a believer now.
No, me too, man. They were in a 4-seater. JFK got clipped in a 4-seater, man. Now it's a 6-seater, and it's still a 4-seater at the JFK Museum. You think if you're going to start a John F. Kennedy Museum, the main thing you're going to have is the car? Maybe it would be the right one. Oh no, we ran out of money or whatever.
That's what
somebody keeps, real quick before I forget, somebody keeps posting that.
Oh, that would not surprise me at all. She was evil.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. He looks just like Aleister Crowley, too. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they worship this dude. And he was a creepy, poop-eating, weird sex-having pedophile, sleeping inside the pyramids, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And let's not forget the Trinity bombings where they had Jumbo with the mannequin inside. Gon Shimura from Face Like the Sun in Age of Deceit covered that beautifully. So everyone keeps saying the Vatican's got a statue of Moloch. I know. I remember that big story I put up yesterday where I said, hey, see this giant baby sacrifice statue of Moloch at the that's the same thing. Same thing. So
yeah, that's a creepy statue.
I think Rebecca Fink has a thing going on with KJ. Because every time I see her in the chat, she's talking about KJ from the scariest movie ever. Yeah. So exactly. All right, Mike, you got anything else that's you want to get out there real quick? Or
I probably should have made a special list, but yeah, I'm horrible when it comes to.
Well, here's the deal. We're going to do this just because we got to test it out and see how it works. Me and Mike are going to do a live stream where it's going to be live on my channel and live on his channel at the same time.
Right on.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's real nice, Rebecca. Real nice. I think I know what that means, but remember, dude, I'm 52, so I could be thinking something completely different than what you are. So just saying. But I think what that means. Get the fuck out. Worst Christian ever. So Mike is so cute. Mike looks like a rock star. So are you married, dude?
No.
I don't mean I shouldn't say that.
No, I've been single since 2013, and I will leave this place that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that I've come to that conclusion because you back in the day, oh, she's got baggage. Well, everyone's got baggage. That happens, but now people are just.
Well, I don't think we got time to start, and you know what I mean. If I knew we had a little bit more time, okay, maybe I'd find some,
Bruce Dickinson is the number one answer. He's the singer for Iron Maiden.
Oh no,
Iron Maiden, dude. I would skip school just to see Iron Maiden on MTV or Judas Priest. Judas Priest was gay, and Iron Maiden showed nothing but Illuminati symbolism throughout the entire video, and they were singing Illuminati songs.
I know it. Yeah,
badass.
Oh, I know. Sometimes every once in a while, I'll see like a video of old Iron Man. It's like, holy, I didn't see all this evil transhumanism looking weird shit going on. But yeah, oh no, I was into the Slayers and all that for a long time.
Me too. Metallica. I've seen Metallica, Judas Priest.
Yeah.
This guy thinks that I need to get laid really bad. Dude, you know how many? Yeah, Richie doesn't have issues with women. That's not a problem. I've just decided it ain't worth it. I'm all set. I'll work on my truck.
Yeah, if there was time, where you could go out fighting with some aware, warrior chick. Yeah, that'd be all right, but we don't have time. There's no reason to start nothing.
No. Yeah, listen, all the women that are saying you're the same age, I don't think I've ever dated anybody in 10 years younger than me usually, because I'm not a 52-year. I'm 52. I got to go sit down and watch my shows. No, I'm like a 10-year-old. I'm off the wall all the time. So
my last one was quite a bit younger than me. But
that's going to end up in a video. Mike Decker sleeps with children.
No, she was like 26 or 27.
Did you look like Bruce Dickinson?
I was
get away with it.
Not that young.
So listen, everybody says that, but you'd hate me if you met me in real life. Believe it or not, I'm not the friendliest person ever. So there's that.
We're just
And ask everyone that's met me.
antisocial.
I'm not antisocial. I just have such a super low bullshit. Like, I don't want to hear it. Hey, I was up at the top of this mountain and I saw this owl. Oh, like in that television show? And I'm like, no, like I was up on this mountain and actually, here's a picture. Like, everyone relates everything. Everybody is just so invested in the machine, man. We weren't put here to go to work, pay taxes, and die.
No.
Oh, and buy new technology, because the phone you just got is completely obsolete now and it doesn't work. And oh well, F you. You know what I mean? And there was a shooting 3 towns over, so everyone's locked in place, and you're not allowed to go back in your own house, and everybody's good with it. They'll only get away with what we let them get away with. We've let them get away with too much.
Way too much.
There's no turning the ship around now. So
way too much.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And pharmaceuticals, genetically modified, fluoride, barium, strontium, aluminum, radiation, and all the public. I mean, dude, when me and you were kids, you could drink out of any stream in this country for the most part.
Yeah.
And then strategically, they built a nuclear power plant that spilled on every single waterway in the United States and the world. And then they bought the Nuclear Regulatory Commission and just kept jacking up the acceptable amount of radiation. They didn't fix the leaks. It's cheaper just to fix the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. You know what I'm saying?
Everything is fine. Yeah, it's and nobody cares. All they're concerned about is that phone. Yeah, or their high dollar vehicle. Got to have the best vehicle, to impress all their friends with. Don't buy no food or nothing.
Right.
Yeah, it's. Hey, Nikki from Tech. Nikki, I got your text too. I'm sorry, I just remembered that you texted me. I'm sorry, I forgot to reply.
Yeah. Anybody you want to shout out while you're here, Mike? Besides what you just did?
I can't even see that.
Excuse me. Say again.
I didn't even know. I just now noticed that there's a live comment, but I was just seeing the ones that were up there.
Oh, really? Yeah, there's a whole crap load of them, dude. I'm putting
Mike smoke cigarettes.
I'm putting Mike's link in the description. Yeah, you can smoke, man. Smoke and vape.
Yeah.
Because if you're not living healthy, how do you detox? Man, I don't. I get the fluoride out of my water. I don't eat genetically modified food. If it comes in a package, I don't eat it unless it's ice cream. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? I can't do drugs anymore. I can't drink anymore. I don't get laid anymore. So I'm eating ice cream. It's just all there is to it.
That's right.
And I have this really funny feeling that after they're done, after December 10th, when they try to shut all of us up permanently, because they've done a great job just shutting social media down. I think the vans are going to start showing up, or the child pornography was found on a laptop, or this person tried to get. They're going to have the technology where they can take me and you in our own words and make us say things.
Oh yeah,
it's not even us.
Oh yeah,
that's going to be a horror show, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And dude, let's not forget, we've already been publicly and officially labeled by the President of the United States, by the President of the Corporation of the United States of America as domestic terrorist. You don't believe in global warming? Domestic terrorist. You think 9/11 was an inside job? Domestic terror. That happened.
Yeah.
That's up on the shelf. When they need it, they'll pull it down. And I think they're going to pull it down soon, because they can't do this new world order with jerk-offs like me and you that will stand and fight. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not getting taken.
We're going down fighting. There ain't no
I'm not getting taken, brother. And this will watch. They're going. Mm-hmm.
There could be worse ways to go, though. So yeah, I'm going.
Absolutely, man. This ain't all there is to it, man. We're made. The one piece of science they have not corrupted as of yet is we are made of energy. We're made of the same exact shit the Earth's made out of. You can't kill energy. It transforms. That's that. I'm not afraid.
Exactly. I'm the same way. And they've tried taking me over the last couple of years. They've tried weaseling me with the FBI and.
Oh, they make themselves known. That's a fact. And like we said before we went live, and for whatever reason, chemtrails really they don't like you talking about it, even though they've already disclosed it, man.
This corrupt sheriff here of mine, him and the ATF, after they went and held a a gun and broke into this one prepper's house because his tenant who was renting the house, whatever, was mad because he wanted money for his rent. So he calls the cops, says, oh, he's making bombs making pipe bombs. So this sheriff who sucks of the feds here called the ATF. They raided his place, held him at gunpoint with an AK-47 up against his skull for 5 hours. Found nothing because he didn't have nothing. Turns out, yeah, it was all BS. But while he had the ATF here, the sheriff they came over and got my dumpsters, the 2 dumpsters from my back alley, and searched it, looking for something to get me with, so that he could have the ATF, because he knows there's going to be a battle if they ever try to take me out. So he figured, oh, we'll find something the ATF can go clean Mike up for us.
Right.
It's ridiculous. So yeah, they're definitely going to try someday.
Well,
I'm not ready.
I'm as at peace with it as I can possibly be. People think it's a joke. I'll tell you what, when you stand there for 10 minutes on your patio looking at the mic, at the camera, telling people that you're a target individual 3 years after it started happening, they don't mess around. And it's happened to a lot of us. There's an unseen force, man.
Oh, yeah. Do you know 2 times that I remember very well? One was 2009. And I don't know if this back when I was brain dead, but you remember how texting and relationships sometimes don't work out too well with your girlfriends, whatever.
Yes.
So you cling onto your phone while you're in rage and whatever. I remember I was just sitting in the chair, had that clinging onto that damn phone, and all of a sudden, from like completely split me right down the nuts, half. This whole side of my body went gone, or completely. I couldn't feel it, nothing. And that went on for about 5-10 minutes. And then the last time anything like that happened was New Year's Eve, 2009, whatever that 2009 New Year's Eve. I woke up out of bed, had that damn phone right under my pillow because I was brain dead. I woke up, and the only thing I could move was my eyes and these 2 arms. And I crawled, and it was right around the stroke of midnight because I don't go out partying on New Year's, whatever, anything. And I was crawling through my house, and I had 4 dogs in, and they were all around me, and they couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. I was dragging my thing, just clawing, dragging. Finally got pushed over, and I laid there, I bet you an hour before everything came back. So they nailed me hard. And I know it was out of a Samsung phone.
Well, I've put up every patent I could possibly find showing that they were working on this in the 60s, where the computer and the computer next to you could affect you. You think they swapped everybody over to digital? Oh, you can't afford a digital television? We'll give you one. We'll give you the digital box. That's for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and something I noticed too, like, usually I'll get up 4 or 5 in the morning, whatever. And when I go down to go get my coffee and visit the old ladies down at the old convenience store, everybody's big giant flat screens are flickering, even though they're not up where they got them things flickering all night long. You know what I mean? They leave them on all night long, the flickering, and it's like, people they don't listen. They don't care because everything's fine.
it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. I agree, Shannon. I am cute. I'm just a dick for real. Hear how I sound? That's how I am. How about that? How about that for an analogy? At any rate, all right, brother. Let's try to set this up if we can. Maybe Monday or Tuesday if you're down for it. I want to see how it works, and I'll have a whole bunch of crap we can talk about because this was easy. This was easy.
That'd be awesome, man.
I just do need the shower because it's the same shirt I was wearing in the live. This is the exact same thing I was wearing yesterday, and I'm even dirtier than I was then. Oh, that's another thing. I'm always dirty.
Oh, that's right. I was too till about an hour ago. I finally, after a couple of days, decided I better clean up a little bit. Hair was all greasy and looking crazy and dirty.
Indeed. All right, let me jump in the chat real quick. Believing is seeing 007, Laurie Thompson, Tara Kimbra, or whatever that is. DD, Hopi, NG, Magical Hoof, Terry. You're freaking me out. Kimberly Clark, New York. I hate New York. I just hate New York. I hate New York. Robert Smith, Dan Hightower. It's got nothing to do with sports either. Andrew Potter's got the wrench. Nez Lover's got the wrench. It's just Groot has the wrench up north of the 49th. Undoctrinated minds and everybody else. If I didn't see you, I didn't miss you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Hit the thumbs up or don't. What's the difference? Mike Decker from YouTube, his link will be pinned in the comments. Mike Decker. It's pretty straightforward. You know,
No, nothing fancy.
Richie, I need the links to those 10 easy things. I'm like, it's toilet paper. How do you need a link to toilet paper? It's toilet paper. You know what I mean? I don't know what they do. I pin them. I can see them, and people say they can't. It freaks me out.
Sometimes doesn't it make you laugh when it gets so?
It does. It does. At any rate, all right, guys, like, share, subscribe to Mike Decker's YouTube channel because he gets really, really good footage, and it will probably be the end of both of us for doing this. Yeah. And you'll see, or you won't. We're out. And I